Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. 26 years down the drain. Recovery. This is going to be a long one. So here's my TLDR summary. Wife of 26 years cheated and for the past 2 years has been trying to reconcile and refusing to divorce me. I hope I did the TLDR right. Hi. I understand that we're not allowed to give out names, but I'm guessing maybe full names. I read a lot of posts to try to get the gist of them, but I can't write like them, so vague and to the point. I don't know. I'll try my best. My name is Hector and I'm 47 years old, Puerto Rican. I think the abbreviation is STBX. Wife Debbie and I was married for 26 years, we were together for 30. We got married in our senior year in high school when she got pregnant with our firstborn. I was lucky enough to get a job at UPS right after graduation. We struggled in the beginning. She's from a traditional Irish family and they hated me at first. But I won them over. Especially her father. I made sure she didn't have to work. By the time we were 27 years old, we had 5 kids. 4 girls and a boy. I was just fortunate that the boy came out first. We had our arguments over money, discipline methods, and me complaining about the lack of sex. I understand, we have 5 children and they can be very exhausting. I tried to help as much as I could, but she was still tired. However, she was my everything. She always kept her body in shape. I try as well, but being a delivery driver for a very long time, I'm what they called skinny fat. I have a muscular chest, arms, legs, but I have a sloppy gut. I got the horseshoe hairline that caused me to shave it off. Yet, Debbie was my everything. There were times she was verbally abusive towards me and whenever I had enough and lashed back, she became a cry bully and I just gave up. As the years went by we were the only married couple in our friend group. Every last one of them got divorced. Out of our 7 married couple friends, 5 were caused by infidelity on the wife's part, 1 was on the husband's part, and the last one they divorced because she friend-zoned her husband. I was against my wife hanging out with her newly single friends. However, that would just start a massive argument about me controlling her, keeping her as a prisoner, and my personal living sex doll. All of that caught me by surprise. The more she hung out with them, the more resentful she became. The kids took notice. I remembered my son and 2 of my daughters arguing with her when I came home, and as much as I understood their frustration, I scolded my kids for yelling at their mother, and when they left the room, I confirmed their issue and she told me that we see her as a slave. I asked her where this was coming from, but she said forget it, shut down, and walked away. I remember D-Day so vividly. Debbie was out with her friends. I was in the kitchen cooking, the kids were watching the train to Busan, and my 3 oldest came to the kitchen. I thought they came to check on the food, but they all had a concerned look. Before I asked what the issue was, my son told me that they thought their mother was having an affair. Of course, at first, I didn't believe it. I didn't want to believe it. I yelled at them and I told them I was going to prove they were wrong. I turned on my iPhone app and saw that she was at a bar on the outskirts of town. I hopped in my truck and I went. When I arrived at the bar it was crowded, but I saw her circle of friends in the corner booth acting like drunk idiots. When I approached them, they all turned pale and that unsettling feeling hit my stomach. Since I didn't see her in the bar, I went outside and walked around the parking lot. There was a car in the back corner. It looked like the man in the driver's side was sleeping. A man who I thought was my friend. I approached the car to ask him if he has seen my wife, but when I got closer, it was obvious that he was getting a BJ, and the closer I got, the more I recognized the woman in the car. I was practically standing by the driver's side window and none of them noticed me. I lost my temper. I broke the window, dragged him out, and I wasn't civil. Debbie was screaming sorry over and over. I was yelling at her while kicking him. Cops showed up soon after that and I was arrested for assault and battery. I spent a week and a half in the county. I had to go into the infirmary because I thought I was having a heart attack, but it turned out I was suffering from broken heart syndrome. The news of what I did spread like wildfire. Eventually my father-in-law bailed out. The man was practically in tears when I stepped through those gates. He profusely apologizes to me for his daughter's actions. During the drive home, he told me he spoke to my manager and union rep about the situation so I can still keep my job. He said that the kids has been staying with him and Debbie was waiting for me in the house. He said he knew what was going to happen, which was why he brought the truck. He was right. When we got to the house, Debbie ran to me crying and tried to hug me, but shoved her so hard that she fell to the ground. She looked at me with shock. I told her to get her shit out of my house and I want a divorce. She tried to fight it, but her father convinced her otherwise. An hour after they left, my mother-in-law came with the kids and I hugged them all for dear life. She apologizes for her daughter's actions as well before leaving. Now in my state, there's mandatory couples counseling before granting the divorce. Which in my opinion is complete BS. I don't understand why I have to go to counseling if she cheated. At the beginning of the sessions, I just sat there, listening to her dribble. That is exactly what it was. Blame shifting on the fact we were young parents and she never experienced the wild lifestyle, the freedom, and she got carried away. She got lost in it and her friends encouraged it. Soon she felt like she was missing something and she started a fling. The counselor tried a few times to make it my fault, telling me that I should have allowed her to spread her wings every once in a while and how I needed to see it from her point of view. I just looked at the woman and asked the counselor if she was smoking crack, because that was the dumbest thing that could have come out of her mouth. I asked Debbie how long she was cheating on me with him and she said 4 months and insisted that he was the only one. But it was a mistake and we could get past this because we have history. So I asked her more questions. Who initiated the sex, you or him? How many times did you go down on him? Did you swallow? Did he do you raw? Did he come in you? Did they fall asleep together? Through her stream of tears, she answered them honestly and I was quiet for a long while. The counselor tried talking to me twice during this and I raised my finger. I thought about everything we did before and during her affair window. The laughter, the conversations, the sex. Everything, and there was no inkling of her being sad or angry. We were just being us. When I finally did speak, I brought up the times we had sex during that window. I called her a WH-re. The counselor tried to correct me and I told her to shut up as I continued to call her every name in the book. Eventually, I told her she was tainted in my eyes. Again, the counselor and Debbie tried to convince me that our history and relationship can get past this mistake, and I didn't want to hear it anymore. It was like they didn't care about my feelings on the matter. It was just about forgiving her and what I can do to get over it and apologize to her for making her feel like a servant. So I walked out. This contested divorce has been a long uphill battle for the past 2 years. Debbie is still trying to make things right. Still trying to get us back together. I don't know why, because our conversations are strictly about the kids, and when she tried to talk to me about something else I hang up on her. Family gatherings are consisted of me avoiding her or not showing up at all. Our oldest children refuse to talk to her. I tried to make them spend time with their mom, but they refuse, and I have chosen to respect that. My in-laws are at my house weekly and I know they have been trying to make their daughter give me my divorce, but that has been a bust. My mother-in-law has been especially harsh on her, calling her a dumb brat, gossiping about her to her congregation. I had to ask her to stop because I didn't want the whole town to know our business. During the first year, my son and daughter created a Tinder account for me. I thought it was dumb. I'm a middle-aged man with 5 children who has a dad bod. Yet I have been on over a dozen very successful dates that have been a real confidence booster. Recently I met someone during my court issue community service. Her name is Isabel and she was our Habitat for Humanity supervisor. She's drop-dead gorgeous and won first place for a Vanessa Marcil lookalike contest at a soap opera convention she and her daughter attended. That's how we started talking. My daughters love watching General Hospital and I sat with them. To me, this is one of the few times I get to spend with them. I introduced her to kids 6 months in and they instantly took a shine to her. To make things really awkward, my son and her daughter appear to really like each other. However, Debbie is not letting go. She actually told our youngest 2 children that eventually, we will get back together. I had to tell her to stop telling them this. Her father is trying to make her go see a therapist, but I just want this over already. I don't regret my years with Debbie. I have 5 wonderful kids with her. I man up and build a life for her. My only regret is that she ruined 26 years together on a fling. I regret that she thought she had me in a way that I was just going to let it slide and take her back. However, I do hate her. When I run into her old group of friends around town, I openly call them WHRs and home wreckers instead of their names. That love and respect that I had for her disappeared when I caught her in that car. She will always be the mother of my children and nothing else. I just hope that she can come to terms with that. Quite frankly, there is no upside to reconciliation. A 4-month affair requires a lot of planning, effort and subterfuge. This was not a drunken one-night stand. She unilaterally opened up your marriage. You were exposed to STDs, hopefully your children are all your own, paternity tests are your business. Now she'll get half of all your assets and mandated alimony and child support. That's not fair. You were faithful. I would read more chumplady.com, Cheating in a Nutshell, Amazon, and Leave a Cheater, Gain a Life, Sean. Don't put your head in a blender and try to make sense of her attempts at manipulation and blame shifting. There's no point. You kept your marriage intact, she chose to have affairs. One more thing, what kind of person gives head in a parking lot to an AP? That's enough reason to divorce. A mom acting that sleazy, I'm female, I want to throw up. You think he was the only one? I don't. It's good you're getting out, you have nothing left to work with here. It's time to take your toys and leave. Go no contact or very low contact. There's nothing left for you in this relationship. Women are looking for loyal, honest partners. If you think you have found love again, be respectful to your GF and see where it goes. I hope that you've taken her off as your beneficiary of your pension, 401k, accident and dismemberment insurance and bank accounts you may have. Even though you're still married, ask your attorney if you can make up and you will leaving your things to your children when the divorce goes through. Good luck. Already did that. Everything is divided among my children. How did your kids find out about her affair? My third born discovered it on D-Day. She borrowed my ex's phone to order Chinese and text messages began to appear. Eventually, she told my 2 eldest after my wife left, and together they told me. Damn, that's just a horrible way for a kid to find out. I wish you and your family all the best that life has to offer. How old are your 3 older kids? In order: 29, 27, 24, 17, 16. My son is wrapping up his surgical residency and lives on the other side of the city. My second born is a homemaker, her husband is currently deployed. My third born is about to graduate with an architecture degree. My fourth and fifth are in high school. We have a family dinner every Friday, with no exceptions. Which was why my 3 eldest were arguing with their mother when I came home. She chose to go out on family dinner night on more than one occasion. Sounds like a great bunch of kids. You're a lucky guy to have such a fine support group. And the last train to Busan totally rocks. Brother, my condolences to the hell your ex put you through. To throw a lifetime of memories away for pure selfishness and sleaziness is an evil that no one should ever have to face. But I'm extremely proud to see you not only get rid of your ex, but you are soldiering on and with the support of your family, especially those amazing kids of yours. Keep yourself busy. And surrounded by good company. You never forget, and the hurt will occasionally hit every once in a while, but you will find new joy. I can promise you that. Just keep your defenses up with your ex. She's in a desperate panic to retain control. She knows that without you, with all the years you provided, she has nothing to stand on. Don't give her a thing. Let her harpy friends peck at her. And that trash MC needs to get their head checked. You got this. Stay strong and on the course. Damn. She just skips family dinner from time to time? Does she let you know ahead of time? How old is your wife? She acts like a teenager. She just started skipping family dinner to hang out with her friends. Mostly leave at the last minute. At the time all this was happening my ex was 45. And she was flagrant enough for the kids to find out. Another level of despicable. I'm always amazed that when a man cheats, he's a no-good sleazebag. But when a woman cheats, it's because the man didn't do enough to make her feel special. Nobody should cheat and there is no justification. If you are in a relationship that you don't want to be in, get out before you cheat. It'll hurt, but less than when you are caught cheating. Good for you for being strong for your children and setting boundaries with STBXW. I wish you well, my friend. It's crazy the marriage counselor basically told you to let her go out and cheat, lol, hell no. And after 26 years, I notice a trend with women cheating. It seems like it's regret for not partying in their younger days, and for men it seems based on lack of sex, or high stress. Both are wrong. Agree with the trend. Lack of sex can only be satisfied by wife and is a primary reason for monogamy. Versus lack of partying is not really related to the partner. It's interesting how men and women justify their actions and how different thought processes bring the same results. Discussing differences between men and women gets banned quickly due to sexism label. I wholeheartedly agree on the difference in thought process. I wish the discourse was allowed. Very unprofessional to engage in MC without some IC sessions. Good therapists won't do that. I am more concerned about the op's temper. Gosh knows he has a right, but learning to stay calm is always for the best. Really? Is his temper the issue here? Yes, it is. As someone who deals with this stuff almost every day, I know firsthand how many times a betrayed man has let his temper go on to cost him dearly. I also said I know he has a right to be angry. Another problem is when men turn this anger inward. This causes depression. This is why I keep a punching bag in my spare bedroom. In fact, a man left my home about 30 minutes ago and spent close to 45 minutes punching that thing. The anger and rage must find an outlet, but that outlet being the AP or worse the cheating female just makes things worse. It's already bad enough as it is in the US family courts as a man, but to also be dealing with the fallout from attacking people can be devastating to the man. Bruh, WTF with that counselor. Someone should have told her ass to some authority or something. Advice that awful should be outlawed. Why the hell are more than half couple counselors such stupid, vapid, insufferable assholes that give advice that is as good as an InfoWars article? Agree, it makes no sense to me. Cheating is cheating. I don't understand the need to make me feel guilty that she cheated. To try to manipulate me to think that it was my fault. Marriage counselors tend to do this. Yep, spread her wings. Lol. Can I? Our MC tried to make me feel guilty for not allowing my wife to explore her sexuality. It's some weird shit. The look on my face when that counselor was just running her mouth screamed, "I want to punch you, but I can't." Op, I think you misunderstood the marriage counselor. She didn't say spread her wings, she said spread her legs, winking face. How did ex-wife and MC feel about letting you explore your sexuality? Can't you complain to some board about this? Post to Yelp or whatever? I think people watch too many stupid movies. Life shouldn't be dramatic. The real magic is making egg sandwiches with your teenage grandson on a Wednesday afternoon. Holding your daughter's hand when she's giving birth. Holding a newborn. Your toddler grandson reaches up to hold your hand. Smelling your freshly bathed daughter's hair as you tuck her in at night. Petting your dog's ears. Life is like a beautiful cloth that you work and weave all of your love and strength into. If you're lucky, like I am, you'll create 3 amazing strong adult daughters and a loving son and 5 incredible grandchildren. The best part of having daughters is gaining bonus sons. My son-in-law is unfailingly loving and kind. Good God people, sex is great but love and care and work, that's what brings joy. The marriage counselor wants a win, which is saving your marriage at any cost. Right on, no justification. She knew that her friends are badly influenced, yet she hung out with them because she was attracted to their lifestyle. However, she never wanted to leave you as you were the safest and most stable option for her. When she saw that her stable and comfortable life was about to get over, she did a 180 turn and wanted to reconcile. Her desperation for reconciliation is because everyone, including her kids and parents, are shaming her on this, and she knows that the only way to preserve her reputation in front of everyone is when you reconcile with her. Also, as she's not getting any younger, so her future options are limited and she can't find someone as good as you. I commend you for how you are being there for the kids, and the way your in-laws are supporting you instead of their daughter shows you are a good man. You will get all past this soon. All the best for your healing journey. Duck you, Debbie. It sounds like you got some really great kids, man. I would have done the same thing in your situation. Since infidelity is not illegal, which I personally think it should be given the damage it does to a family, every husband should be encouraged to kick the shit out of the AP to put the fear of God in anyone considering being with a married woman. If you're scared to do it yourself, there's always a friend in the bunch who's mean enough to do it for you. Hearing about these women going out for some stranger like their miserable friends, getting caught and realizing they just ruined their lives for nothing. Her friends are the same lonely, desperate women you see all over TikTok. I doubt your STBX will ever be able to look at them the same after going through all this turmoil. No matter how much you try to keep the affair in the family, before long it's all over town. Women have a real hard time living with shame and guilt, and the only way they think they will ever feel better about themselves is if their husband forgives and takes them back. That is asking someone to do the impossible. They will forever be tainted, dirty 403s to us. And unfortunately, if there's kids involved that are old enough to know what went down, they will never look at their mother the same. That's the only part that I feel a little compassion about. She'll never recover from that one. Good luck to you. I hope you find yourself a good woman to spend the rest of your life with. The grind of life is the worst excuse to cheat. Like you were loving every minute at UPS. Edit, hope your friend learned a lesson. My brother, I caught my wife of 27 years in an affair with a former friend I grew up with. We have 3 kids. She left me for him. He's a meth-teethed alcoholic piece of trash. Once I found out about this affair, I found out about others. I was crushed. I begged like an idiot. Gave her everything to win her back. You did the right thing. The only difference is she has weaponized my kids against me. I am a good dad. Hardworking and always attend church and have tried to be a good example and good person. After a year of abuse from her, I was able to move past her, meet a wonderful woman and remarried. Someday I know she'll pay and the kids will come back to me. Anyway, you aren't alone. How could anyone blow up their family for this? Stay strong, bro. They're gonna see her for what she is sooner or later. Man, I feel for you. But you did the right thing. WTF did she think what would happen when you found out? The lies and disrespect right in front of your face. She not only cheated on you but her family. How is 4 months a mistake? That's a choice. That's a decision you can't undo. To think, here she is giving this dude head and comes home kissing on you. Hell the F no. There's no way to earn back the trust 26+ years took to make happen. I applaud you for moving forward and trying to live your best life, clapping. Stand your ground, my man. Make her own her shit. She can go be with her BJ buddy if he was good enough to destroy a 26-year marriage over he's good enough to take care of her divorced ass. Just hearing about infidelity is enough to get divorced over, but catching her with some dude's D.K. in her mouth, that's just unforgivable, imho. You go, bro. Sorry, man. Horrible story. Your STBXW needs therapy. She was absolutely influenced by her friends. Your instincts told you it was happening, and when you tried to get control of the situation, she blame shifted because she wanted to have an affair. No doubt her friends couldn't stop talking about how great the wildlife was. I'm curious how your kids discovered it before you. Did they overhear her talking on the phone? My third-born was the one who discovered it. On D-Day she borrowed her mother's phone to order Chinese because she didn't like what I was cooking when some rather graphic text messages appeared from my ex-AP and her friends. She didn't know what to do, and after a while went to her brother and older sister, and together they told me. My children shouldn't have to go through that. The third-born sees a therapist over it. For a while she blamed herself, but she now understood that it wasn't. Edit, she used her mom phone before her mom went out. Oh, man. Nightmare. I'm glad you found out, but any way other than that would have been better. At this point, I can only say hang in there. It's not too late to rebuild your life. Many people have done it, and it sounds like you've already taken some positive steps toward that. Is she still friends with those people? What do they say about what happened, and what is their reaction? What does your wife say about your children not talking to her? Has your wife accepted all the blame, or is she still making excuses? What has she done since all this happened to show her repentance? Is she still friends with those people? At first, she completely cut them off, but now, I don't know and don't care. What do they say about what happened, and what is their reaction? In the bar, they all were just looking at me with fear. No one was saying anything, and I had a gut feeling that something bad was happening, and I went looking for her. In the aftermath, they just scattered like roaches. When I see them in public, they try to pretend not to see me, but I ask them questions and refer to them as WHR or homewrecker. I was asked several times to stop, but I keep doing it. What does your wife say about your children not talking to her? It really bothered her. Especially our two eldest daughters. They were really close, and my son, not acknowledging her, cut her deep. She asked me to help mend their relationships, but they're adults and I can only suggest for them to talk to their mother, but they made up their minds. Has your wife accepted all the blame, or is she still making excuses? A little of both. She accepted all the fault of the divorce, but still made excuses for not experiencing life. What has she done since all this happened to show her repentance? During the forced counseling, she tried to just come over like she still lived in the house, and I told her to leave and she had to call. She cried, begged, got the pastor involved, tried to convince my parents, her parents, our youngest, to talk to me. One time she got dolled up and showed up at the door with my favorite dish, and I closed the door. She insisted that we should talk and we can fix this because of our history together, but she can't accept that I want nothing to do with her. What was it that made you think that she could still have a relationship with those friends? What does she do while you are with your girlfriend? Is she still trying to work on getting you back, or is she just refusing to break up? What was it that made you think that she could still have a relationship with those friends? I didn't trust her friends, but I trusted her. Especially since she made a big show about me not trusting her and keeping her caged. What does she do while you are with your girlfriend? Mostly tried to text me a lot, but I ignore her. In the beginning she used to try to come unannounced, and after a huge fight with Isabel and the kids she stopped coming over. Is she still trying to work on getting you back, or is she just refusing to break up? Right now she refuses to break up because for some reason she tells people that I'm going through a phase and will eventually get back with her because we have history together. Yeah, your STBXW sounds delusional. Is there a time period where the divorce will be granted regardless of whether your STBXW wants a divorce? It really is unfair that you are sort of stuck in the divorce process. The window is 4 years, and I believe she will fight it tooth and nail despite everyone telling her to let me go. Damn, what state is this? Wisconsin. Quick question, why did you spend a week and a half in the county without being bailed out beforehand? That's a long time to be in the county for just assault. And 60 hours of community service? That's a bit extreme as well. If she had a 4-month affair, you should sue the AP in civil court for alienation of affections from your wife. I really hate people who knowingly sleep with people in relationships. Well, I got arrested on a Friday night. Was stuck there all weekend and I had to wait until my father-in-law had enough money to bail me out. My son and daughters tried to chip in, but their grandfather insisted that he paid for it. As for the 60% of community service, I beat my former friend pretty badly. If the cops never showed up, I think I would have beaten him to death. Please provide an update. Does Wisconsin actually mandate you have to cohabitate for 4 years or be separated for 4 years before divorce is granted? Separated for 4 years and only after the mandated counseling fails. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.